All right, now that I know where to look, how are we doing, guys? Today is a beautiful day in Seattle, Washington. Um, well, I live in Linwood, Briar, Bothell. What the fuck? Who cares about the details? All right, we're here for a little Blu-ray update. I haven't done one in a long time. There's at least 100 movies I probably haven't shown, but I've shown the ones I haven't put away yet. That's my problem. I put away movies I get as soon as I get them, and then I forget if they're new, they're old, and they're all just in my collection. So so it makes it a lot more work to do these videos when they're all put away. So lately, I haven't really had room to put any of these away. So lucky for you, I'm able to do a little Blu-ray update. Also, just got done being sick, so I don't know. Just felt like the right time to do this. So anyways, without further ado, let's get into it. First movie we got here is a really big surprise. Is Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Oh, you're a bad person. Um, Jimmy, they have a Jimmy Stewart impression in this movie. Probably one of the best characters. Definitely one of the most popular among some of my friends. But yeah, really fun time. This was like one of the first kids movies that was wide release that I feel didn't hold back. I feel like this movie actually had a lot more adult humor than a lot of kids films nowadays. Very similar to the original Shrek movies, just not trying to coddle the audiences too much. But yeah, good action too, good animation. And yeah, I haven't even seen the first Puss in Boots, and this was a fun time. So, a sequel where you don't have to see the first? Fuck yeah. Next off, we have Jason and the Argonauts. Been wanting to watch this. Been in a really big fantasy mood lately. I just watched Ralph Bakshi's Fire and Ice, which was a ton of fun. Like Conan the Barbarian meets heavy metal. But yeah, this looks great. I guess this is an out-of-print Blu-ray. I found it at Half Price Books for like $10. It just looked cool, and I've heard good things about it. It's Ray Harryhausen stop motion animation, so really excited to watch that. This filler for Jim Carrey's collection, and that is Me, Myself, and Irene. I don't hate this movie. I think it's just fine. I'm a huge Jim Carrey fan. He's one of my favorite actors of all time. I mean, just not just actor, but he's one of my favorite people of all time. Like, through thick and thin, love this guy. I act like I have coffee with him or something. Yeah, no. It is what it is. I think this is probably the Farrelly brothers' most juvenile film, but it's definitely entertaining. It's not boring, so you got to give it that. Illusionist, not to be confused with The Prestige. This came out the same year, I think the same month, maybe even same weekend. I don't know, but very similar looking anyway. I think they're pretty different in story though. I don't know. I haven't seen this one. I've seen The Prestige, which I really like that, and this I've heard got good reviews as well, so I can't wait to check that out. It's got a great cast. I have a fondness for this movie. It just has some annoying elements about it, but it's a great movie to throw on around this time, Halloween time, so you gotta love that. And that is Casper. I will say, despite what problems this movie has, it's a fun time, but this movie has an amazing score. I think this has like such an underrated score, one of the best, honestly. So yeah, it's great. Casper. Another movie that I kind of giving another chance. I remember when I first saw it, I think I was in a bad mood or something, or I had a headache, and this is a very like contained, claustrophobic movie anyway. So probably not the best movie to watch in whatever mood I was in, and that's Cujo. But I love me some Stephen King. I love me some 80s Stephen King movies. So I can't wait to check this one out again. And I found this for fairly cheap to give it another try. So yeah, excited to check that out again for this Halloween. Goofy, but I have a ton of fun with this movie. It's Sam Neill and Lawrence Fishburne and Event Horizon. It's like Alien meets Hellraiser. It's just, again, fun time. There's some clunkiness about it, but that's part of the charm. And some genuinely terrifying elements to this film too. And Sam Neill, just in horror, I think it just goes together like almost like peanut butter and cookies, like cookies and milk. Creepshow 2. I haven't seen this in a long time, but I remember the segment with the wooden of like a Native American, and I remember that being the best segment. But I haven't seen this in a long time. I can't wait to revisit this for Halloween. As you'll see, there's definitely a trend of horror movies and kind of Halloween type stuff. This is just the last horror movie. But yeah, no, definitely excited to check this out. So yeah, Creepshow 2. Can't wait to revisit that. I bent to shit, and that is Predator 2. Not even close to the quality of the first, but that doesn't even need to be said because it's obvious. But with that being said, I have a lot of fun with this movie. It's got a great cast, and you got Bill Paxton in yet another sequel. He's in Aliens and Predator 2, so that's pretty cool. I always thought that was just super odd but awesome as a kid. Always had to point that out. But yeah, really fun movie. And Danny Glover, why didn't he star in more movies? He was great in this. Such a fun movie. An Invasion of the Body Snatchers type film, and so many horror elements. It's got a scene that's pretty much like the same out of The Thing when they're testing the blood to see which one's the thing. And yeah, Breakfast Club meets Invasion of the Body Snatchers. What's not to like? Like late 90s, early 2000s, they're all on the cover with the entity in the background or some creepy picture in the background. But this was such a popular theme back in the day. Scream, I Know What You Did Last Summer, Valentine, the list goes on and on. But yeah, such a fun time. It makes better. I actually like this better. This is Ringu. I love this film. It's so genuinely creepy. And I also just think the characters are a lot more likable. Plus, most of the time, the original is going to be better. In some rare cases, like The Thing, way better than the original, even though I do enjoy that for what it was. But yeah, Ringu, probably butchering the fuck out of his name, but great movie. Definitely check it out if you have not. Can't wait to revisit that for Halloween. That is White Man Can't Jump, sorry. Coming from a white guy here. Love this movie. I thought the chemistry between the two leads, it's just very real. You could tell that they enjoyed working together. Apparently so, because they made another movie together, Money Train, which I have yet to see. But yeah, it got that classic 90s basketball movie feel, and a good romantic side to this movie too. It's got a good love story. My biggest criticism, which every time I say this to anybody, they're like, well, it's called White Man Can't Jump, or White Men, rather. But I feel like it's just a little too much Woody Harrelson. I feel like they could have given Wesley Snipes a little bit more to do. But again, I know it's the title, but it's like, come on. They're both on the cover. Make it equal. I don't know. I'm a stickler for things like that. But yeah, I definitely did enjoy it, though. And I also have the sequel I'm about to show as well. But I got Ghoulies. Haven't seen this in a long time. I recently discovered I had a kind of a low rating for it on Letterboxd, which I was like, what the hell? I haven't even seen this movie in 15 years. Why did I have such a low rating? I think it was just an impulse rating when I first got on Letterboxd, but can't wait to revisit this. I remember having such a fun time with this movie as a kid, but rather the sequel, I remember having a funner time with. This is kind of more of just like a B, horror, possession. I think the main character gets possessed by this entity and then spawns these little guys, and it's just kind of a more slow burn, odd, just kind of culty movie. But this is more of what this led on to be. This is more of just a creature feature, gremlins, just dumb fun, and it's at a amusement park, which what's not to love. So can't wait to revisit those for Halloween. Yeah, just fun. Next off, we have one that was a huge surprise for me, in the sense of who made it. What kind of movie it is, I wasn't surprised that I liked it, because I like a lot of movies like this, but that is Beau is Afraid by Ari Aster. I'm not usually a huge fan of Ari Aster. I thought Hereditary was a great first half of a movie. I thought the second half was all right. I almost said Paranorman for some reason. Midsommar, I thought was all right. I just thought it was very uneven in what it was trying to do. Personally, I thought it was a beautiful looking film, but this hit every note that I wanted it to. It's funny, it's weird. It's a mixture of a lot of different kind of things that I like. It's a mixture of a few different movies that I like. And Joaquin Phoenix is just incredible. And it's just a great depiction on how anxiety can run your life and how it escalates, you know, the snowball effect of your anxiety just increasing to every fear and scenario that can just get worse and worse the more that you build it up in your head. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's just a great depiction on how anxiety can get to you. And it's so funny, surprisingly funny. I thought it would be humorous or like ironically funny, like not a ha-ha funny, but this movie is very laugh out loud hilarious, honestly. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, holy fuck, this movie looks great on 4K. Definitely adds a lot to this film, how beautiful it is animated wise. I didn't like it as much as the first, unfortunately, but not unfortunately, because it's still a really great film. I give it an 8 out of 10. I just thought the first one was almost perfect. I just thought the characters in this one weren't as interesting. But with that being said, I love I still love a lot of this movie. It just was missing. Again, I'm not gonna say it was missing anything because I would say it's just more. It suffers from the third one not being out and feeling like there's something missing. So you can't help to feel like something's missing because this is the middle of the trilogy. So it's concluding things and it's setting up things for the third one. So I feel like I will like this movie a little bit more when the third one's out. Batman, Mask of the Phantasm. Always been a huge fan of Batman the Animated Series, and this was always a great film to me. Represents everything I love about the show. Very heavy influence from film noir, and just to a lot of people, when people think of Batman and like the best Batman movies, or just Batman as a character, the Joker as a character, a lot of people go to Batman the Animated Series, and I have to agree. Mark Hamill as the Joker and Kevin Conroy as Batman, it embodies everything that is great about each character. So I mean, to say that they're the best, I can't argue with that. Like 10 takes on that last one for some reason. It's really hard for me to end this video sometimes, and sometimes I get wrapped up in so many different thoughts, and it's really like that's why I don't make these videos as much, because I just get so in my own head, and I have to stop doing that. Or just make these videos anyway. So I really appreciate you guys for hanging in there with me and stopping by. And as always, you guys have a great one. I'll see you next time.